exactly where you did read my mind. Yes. Give her 2 claps, y'all. 2 claps. Teamwork. Here's why that's such an important detail. In this chapter, we're going to read a really powerful sentence that Marty says about lying and how he's transforming from that lying. But this is super important because Marty, not only has he lied, we're 2 strikes, just so you know. Red table. Matter of fact, Samia, come on up. You're sitting right here next to Carmen. Not only has Marty lied repeatedly, he's also learning how to sort of half lie, half tell the truth. So he's getting further and further away from being honest right now. Let's find out what happens in this next chapter. Chapter 6, Eyes on Text, page 45. Then we go 3, and you see all eyes, tracking text. 2, not looking at me, not looking at your neighbor. 1. Still got 1 young lady. Join us for more. All right, here we go. Summer, join us. Isaac, join us. Chapter 6. No, I need you to track your text. Night in West Virginia is as dark as black can be. No car lights sweeping across my walls or ceiling, like when I stay overnight with David Howard down in Friendly. No street lamps shining in the windows. No lights from next door houses. Where I live, there ain't no street lamps at all. No house close enough to see from our windows. My eyes are open anyway. I stare up into the darkness of the living room, and the darkness stares back. I'm remembering how once, several years ago, when Ma bought milk chocolate rabbits one Easter for me and Dara Lynn, I'd finished eating mine, but Dara Lynn took only a nibble of hers every day or so, keeping it on her dresser in its pink and yellow tinfoil, driving me nuts. And one day, I just crept in there and ate off one of that rabbit's ears. Dara Lynn, of course, threw a fit, and when Ma asked me if I'd done it, I said no. I could feel my cheeks and neck burning red. "You sure, Marty?" she asked. I only nodded and left the room. It was one of the worst days of my life. It's a reward question. Why is this one of the worst days of Marty's life? He's giving us a flashback right now. Why is this one of the worst days of Marty's life that he's giving us this flashback of? Corey, what do you think? Ask him how to tell the whole class. Why is this one of the worst days of his life?
Because we went to Shiloh.
Remember, we're having a flashback right now. Marty's talking about a time when he ate the rabbit ear off his sister's chocolate rabbit. Why is this one of the worst days of his life, Isaac?
This is one of the worst days of his life because he ate all of his chocolate, but Darylyn took only a nibble of hers, so he ate her chocolate, and then Darylyn did a big fit, and then he was lying to his mom, and that's why he said that's the worst day of his life.
Oh, notice how you guys, how Isaac used text evidence? Right there, he said, in the text it said, oh, and then he gave us that straight out of text. Y'all catch that? Okay, here we go. Eyes back on text. Nicely done, Isaac. About an hour later, 2 people who tracked your text, not me. About an hour later, she come out on the porch where I was pushing myself slow in the swing and sat down beside me. "You know, Marty," she said, "Dara Lynn don't know who ate the ear off her candy rabbit, and I don't know who did it, but Jesus knows. And right this very minute, Jesus is looking down with the saddest eyes on the person who ate that chocolate. The Bible says that the worst thing that can ever possibly happen to us is to be separated forever from God's love. I hope you'll keep that in mind." I just swallowed and didn't say anything. But before I went to bed, when Ma asked me again about that rabbit, I gulped and said yes. And she made me get down on my knees and ask God's forgiveness, which wasn't so bad. I honestly felt better afterward. But then she said that Jesus wanted me to go in the next room and tell Dara Lynn what I'd done. And Dara Lynn had a fit all over again. Threw a box of Crayolas at me. Could have broke my nose. Called me a rotten, greedy pig. If that made Jesus sad, Ma never said. Now, as I study the darkness in this room around me, I'm thinking about lies again. I hadn't lied to Judge Travers when I said I hadn't seen his dog in the yard today. That was the honest-to-God truth, because Shiloh hadn't been anywhere near our yard. But I also know that you can lie not only by what you say, but what you don't say. Nothing I told Judd was an outright lie. Isaac tried to text. But what I kept inside myself made him think that I hadn't seen his dog at all. "Jesus," I whispered finally, "what you want me to do? Be 100% honest and carry that dog back to Judd? so that one of your creatures can be kicked and starved all over again? Or keep them here and fatten them up to glorify your creation? The question seemed to answer itself, and I'm pretty proud of that prayer. Repeat it to myself so as to remember it in case I need to use it again. If Jesus is anything like the story cards of Sunday school make him out to be, he ain't the kind to want a thin little beagle to be hurt. Next reader, loud and proud, who's feeling fearless? Eeny, meeny, miny, my.
The problem more mixed
A little louder, please.
The problem more mixed up that though.
Oh, the problem's more mixed up than that, though.
The problem more mixed up than that though. I'm lying to my house as well. I'm not eating the leftover meat though. I had put away every bit of food saved and my money saved that could go to buy.
Hang on a second, Maya. Stop this. You're following along. You're on page 50 right now. You're sitting there staring at page 48 and then you're not following along. Top of 50. Maya, go ahead.
There live a new pair of sneakers, so Mom won't have to cut open the top of her old one to get her.
Oh, just kidding. I'm sorry. I got two pages stuck together. Ha! My fault. 48. Sorry, y'all. 48. I apologize. Continue.
Old one to give her toes more room. Every little bit of food waste is money waste. If we ever had the least little bit of money to spare, that doesn't have to go for the care of our mom.
Preston.
First thing we all want is a telephone, so we don't have to ride down to the dog. Murphy to the Jews, but the way I feel it, if it was from my own head, I would have given myself, but didn't want to harm him today. Next morning when I get up to see Shiloh, I put the rope on his collar and led him to the other side of the hill. Out of sight of all but God. Then I let him go and we raced and tumbled and dragged and the road stopped now and then just to lie in the cover.
The clover.
Me on my back, Shiloh on his stomach, both of us
Panting and nuzzling each other. Good to my nice fluency there. Here we go. Don't know if Shiloh's getting more human or I'm getting to be more dog. If Jesus ever comes back to earth again, I'm thinking he'll come as a dog. Because there isn't anything as humble or patient or loving or loyal as the dog I have in my arms right now. Let's pause for a sec. So in this paragraph, Marty compares Jesus to Shiloh. What 4 traits does he use to compare Jesus to Shiloh? He says, Lord will return as a dog with these 4 character traits. Eeny, meeny, miny. I like how Denise going back to her text. Denise, help me out.
humble, patient, loving, or loyal.
Good. Humble, patient, loving, and loyal. Nice job, Denia. Eyes back on text. Here we go. Bottom of 48 where it says we eat our Sunday meal. Find it with your eyes. 2 scholars join us with your eyes. Bottom of 48, last paragraph.
To me.
3. Who's got 2? Matthew joins. Carlos joins. We eat our Sunday meal, but by late afternoon, storm clouds roll in, and the rain beats down on the tin roof of our house, streaming down the window glass, making a small pond in the side yard. I can't help staring out the window at the far hill. Will Shiloh, can he even, leap that fence to try and go somewhere that's more dry? Is he smart enough to go under that lean-to I made for him? Have I built it right, away from the wind? What if he gets to howling? In 20 minutes, the rain stops, though. The sun comes out, the birds start to sing again. All those worms oozing up through the wet mud. Shiloh stayed where he was, trusting me that where I put him was best. Being quiet, like he knows his life depends on it. Marty, Dad says, going outside with a rag to wipe off his Jeep. I saw Mrs. Howard yesterday, and she said David was back from Tennessee, wanting to know when you boys could get together. She said David would like to come up here someday next week. I like David Howard fine, but I sure don't want him up here. David likes the hill, always wants to play there. He's not afraid of snakes the way Dara Lynn is. David, in fact, likes to go to the very top of that hill and then go running lickety-split down it, racing to see who's first to the fence at the bottom. Likes to climb the trees up there, too, and play lookout. All right, now, scholars, why is Marty anxious about David Howard coming out? Somebody maybe haven't seen hand this guy. Eeny, miny, Jesse. Why do you think he's nervous about David Howard coming out? Did you guys hear that?
Yes.
Yes, Jesse, that was exactly right. Yes. David Howard likes to play on top of the hill, which is where Marty's hiding Shiloh, right?
Yeah.
So if David Howard's up there and discovers him, Marty and Shiloh are both in a big deal of trouble. Kyrie.
And also if Marty tell David, I think David is going to tell Marty's dad.
Ooh, so it could be like a chain reaction, where like one person tells another person, and all of a sudden they're all getting in trouble.
His
Good.
dad might tell Judge
Please
Travis.
don't call out. I'm looking for raised hands. One more. Kyrie passes. Jesse. Nice and loud. Tell the whole class.
Or if they play look at him, he might spot him, but
Good. Nice detail.
he's gonna say, "Oh wait, that's not my dog. I don't know who this dog is."
Nailed it. Nice job, guys. Hands down. All right, fearless reader. Starting with, well, I'll go down to David's tomorrow. Proud. Thank you. Ashley.
Well, I go down to David's tomorrow, I said. I'd rather do that. Why not do both, Ma said, coming out to throw some mash to the hens. He's hardly seen any fun all summer, Marty. Why don't you go down to Fernie one afternoon and ask David to come up here another? There's nothing much to do up here, I say. Nothing knowing how else to
Will
answer.
you read that last sentence, please?
There's nothing much to do up here, I say. Nothing knowing how else.
Not knowing how else to
Not knowing how else to answer. It was the wrong answer. Both Ma and Dad were looking at me now. You said just the other day you have plenty to do here, Dad tells me, wringing out his rag at the pump. Lots for me to do, but not much for David Howard, I say, a lie. That's a flat out lie. Funny how one lie leads to another, and before you know it, your whole life can be a lie.
Let me pause right there for a sec, Ashley. Ashley, would you mind reading just the last sentence one more time? Nice and loud so we can honor this very important one.
Okay. Funny how one lie leads to another, and before you know it, your whole life can be a lie.
Funny how one lie leads to another. Before you know it, your whole life can be a lie. What we're going to do real quick, we're going to turn and talk with people next to us. How does that sentence apply to Marty's life? Now he says, funny how one lie leads to another, and before you know it, your whole life can be a lie. How is Marty's life turning into a lie? All right, go ahead and turn and talk 60 seconds. Go ahead. All right, take one moment back to how is Marty's life becoming a lie? 45 seconds.